What up? Welcome to the golf locker room. Welcome to the golf locker room. Let's bring Siff on, see what's going on with Big Siff.
What's good?
There we go. There we go. Let's give another round of applause. Sorry for the delay, but let's get it going. The locker room was off for about a week because of Thanksgiving, but we back. We back like we never left. Trish, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I ain't got nothing. Chilling, getting ready to play with some gents that are coming into town for the Q Tour. We're going to get a little practice round in out at Lake Jovita, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Big Siff, what's cracking?
Man, I got murdered this past weekend, man, in the first degree. They left me on the side of the road too. They didn't even give me a proper burial, man. I went out there. When I say I shot 85 and I own it, I mean, I played as hard as I possibly could, man. You know, I shoot 85 left-handed, and it's just the rub of the green, man. It's be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Let's blame it on winter golf. That's winter golf. Even though it's probably sunny, even though it was probably 75, I still blame it on winter golf. You know, the grass do go dormant to be out here in Cali. Our grass goes dormant. And so if it's green and looks good, it's still not alive.
Right.
You know, it's not even alive. And so it gets a little hard panny, you know, which I like hard pan. I'd rather have hard pan than soft. As soon as you hit something, it just the turf goes no compression. You can't get no compression. Even if you hit the ball first, it's tough for me as my big old giant 13.4 handicap. But I'm getting there. I'm on a swing rehabilitation. 1,000 balls, 14 days.
You can do it.
Well, I'm on 840. I only got 2 days left, and then I'll be
you there.
Yeah, I'm there. I mean, I have to take a couple of days off to kind of recoup the back and recoup a little shoulder thing. Plus, I did 2 lessons with my swing guy, my swing coach. So, you know, you got to still, to me, I still liked, even though I was trying to do it myself, I still need a professional to fine tune what I was doing wrong, which was a lot. And he kind of fixed it in like 4 minutes. Shout out to Leroy Bates. That's
but you know, but the thing is, Manny, you have to from ball 1 to ball 1,000, you have to do everything that your pro is teaching you to do.
Exactly.
So you can't go out in the midst of a round and say, man, I'm hitting it bad. Let me go back to my old stuff.
No, you can't do that. You got to suffer.
You got to suffer.
Because you got to suffer. Even and I played a couple of rounds in between, right? And shot an 82 on one round, and then a 94 and then a 94 the very next round because it's inconsistent. The fields aren't there. When you play, and it wasn't too competitive. I mean, it was 20 of us, and we play skins, but we always play skins, so it's never no free swings because ain't no need to play golf for free swings. But so you know, it's a process. It's a process. Right. What can you do? All right, enough of that. 1,000 balls. 1,000 balls.
That's exactly.
A lot. It ain't really as much as you think.
Yeah,
A
okay.
bucket holds 90. So you do 12 buckets, 12 days or 14 days. You'd be surprised. It's just I'm older and my recoup wasn't, I forgot all about the recoup because you feel good on the range. And then after
Mm-hmm.
the fourth day, you be missing the range. I'm moving around like, oh, I can't wait to get to the range tomorrow. I can't wait to get to the range tomorrow. Because I'll take my time with the bucket. I don't think a large bucket, it'll take me over an hour if I'm doing stuff correct.
It
Because I got
should.
Mm-hmm.
alignment sticks, I'm playing shots like, I want to play good shots and not just exercise and just start hitting balls because you messed up. Sometimes when people mess up, they just start swinging and putting balls down and putting ball. That's just exercise. That's just running on the treadmill. You ain't doing nothing. But I aim. I have my stick, alignment sticks. You need all that. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Trish, let's get with what's the 411?
Nothing. Just of course, we just want to send the condolences out to Lee Elder's family. He was a trailblazer in this game that we love, and
Sure.
we just lost him. He
Yeah,
passed away, and so definitely want to shout him out. Give some condolences to the family, and again, a trailblazer, definitely, lost and to be missed.
for
Yeah,
sure, for
man.
sure. Sif, how I know you come from a legendary family, um, and I'm sure Dr. Sifford was close with Elder. They came up the same way. Do you have any stories or
Yeah,
any
well,
family?
a couple of years ago, man, Lee, we had a golf tournament here at Piper Glen in Charlotte. Um, and on behalf of the Sifford, Charlie Sifford. And so, Lee was kind of the statesman for um, the tournament. And
Okay.
so, man, there were many stories to be told, man. I mean, it was some great stories. But I had the opportunity. I knew Lee. I met him several times, and the thing was, he was very intentional. And what I mean by that, if Mr. Elder came up to you and gave you some instruction, he was blowing you off. He was very intentional. Look, son, stop what you're doing. You need to do this right here. He'd get behind you, say, you need to put this hand here. I mean, he was intentional about instruction because that's how much he loved the game. And it's awesome. Our legends are leaving here, they're fleeting, but at the same time, man, it's just great to be in their presence when they are around, or when
You
they
know what
were
I
Definitely.
thought
around.
was Yeah, what I thought was so amazing. What I thought was so amazing is as you watched on Facebook and you read different people, they posted the pictures with him, you can see that he obviously was so personable, and just the different stories and how he affected so many. Like I was reading and reading and reading and reading. I was like, this was an amazing man.
Yeah,
He was
definitely.
awesome, man. He was awesome.
1975 made his first appearance. Missed the cut on that one, but appeared 5 more times afterward. They was taking this ball and throwing it in the bush. There was
He
just
went through a lot.
and not just him. They all minority golfers went through a whole lot, and I'm glad we semi passed that. And the game is for everyone.
Yes,
Everyone
sir.
indeed. All right. Rest in peace, the
Mhm.
elder. Let's give him up. All right. Let's get on with the show. All right, Trish. Let's do some introductions. Let's get it cracking.
Right. So we have Rashad Wilson. He's
Nice.
on IG. He's known as Supergolf. And we also have joined us Miss Tiana Jones,
All
and
right.
she's with Queen of Green. And we'll bring them on and we'll let them, tell us a little bit more about themselves.
Nice. Yeah, super pro. And do we do Tiana, do we got him? Oh, there we go. See, we going old school. I like it. Super pro, what's up?
Man, what's going on, man?
Okay, hold on.
Trying to get this technology right, not trying to work with me, but nonetheless, we're gonna make it happen.
That's right. Well, we got you somehow. Your partner's making it happen for you and making it happen for us. Thanks. Welcome to the show. Let's give you a round of applause again. And Tiana, give you a round of applause again. Super Pro, introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us what's going on.
Man, RASHAD Wilson, originally from the big city of Dublin, Georgia. Middle Georgia, Scotia, man. That's the middle between Atlanta and Savannah, the true heart of the state, just for y'all that don't know the reference of the dub in Dublin, Georgia. But nonetheless, known as the Super Pro. I am the only African American that has the credentials of being a Class A member of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America and a Class A PGA professional.
Let's get that up. First of all, let's just get that up. Trailblazing.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed, though. But it's just all about, although it was flattering to be the first and took a lot of hard work, it's just that the main mission is what, I'm not the last. So you know what I mean? Just sharing that knowledge and I found my experiences, it's all about exposure, right? You know what I mean? Golf is $1 billion industry, and I'm here to share, my road less taken, the green grass side from an agronomy aspect, because a lot of us don't know about, what it takes and the things and the careers that's even associated with the agronomy side of the game in that regard. So, again, I appreciate the opportunity to be on and share some of my thoughts and experiences with the golf world, and salute to y'all for what y'all do. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, let's give you up another round. And, it's just an honor to have both of you guys on because, again, we always say this. We love to have professionals at their craft to really speak on what's going on and not guess and not speculate. We want to hear from you guys. You guys are the professionals. You guys are what we need to do to take lessons and take tips to enhance the game and steer some of these young kids into the professions you both have chosen and done so well and accomplished so much at such a young age too. Let's not get it done. We ain't talking to old cats. They in here making it happen young, so they got many years to influence the game and bring people in the game already, and they're already so accomplished. That's just very dope. Tiana's in the house. All right, let's get an introduction from you because you're well accomplished, and we want to give you some flowers.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys for having me. So I grew up in a little small town called Alliance, Ohio. I was born in Akron, Ohio. I started playing golf at the age of 3. My entire family plays. So that's how my start started. But I took to it very quickly. My family is very, very competitive. With that being said, I won my first tournament at the age of 7 and played for my high school team. I was on an all-boys high school team, so no female.
Oh, wow.
And I won the 2009 Ohio High School State Championship. I'm the only African-American female to have ever done so to this day.
That's how we do it. Let's get that up, though. We're going to get some of that up, and you get some air horns for that because you breaking barriers and being the first. It's really hard to do that. People take it for granted, and people hear, it's really hard you're the first for a reason. It's very hard. It's very hard.
It is, it's a long road that not many travel. Hopefully we can change that. With that being said, I went to South Carolina State University and I won. Yup. I won some national championships there and then went to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore where I got my professional golf management degree. I am the 7th African American female to get elected PGA membership within the organization, and I'm also a dual member, also with the LPGA. So paving ways out here.
That's right. Okay. Come on now, killing them. Let's get that up again.
Let's see you, Queen.
Yeah, let's go again. And you know,
We're not queen of green for no reason, huh?
exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly. That is so super, super dope. And again, we go back to these accomplishments are not easy, and the road is hard, and the work was strenuous and tiresome, and achievement was achieved by both you guys. And just, you know, we just love having people like you on the show and giving our audience, which is your audience too, real access to hear and chat and ask questions to professionals. That's what we want to do, professionals. Big Siff, what you got for our guest today?
TIANA, Bulldog, Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin, he played there, played football there. Javon Hargrave, who plays for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he's doing big things. So I'm always a, Bulldog at heart. And congratulations on moving the needle. You know, a lot of times as African American, and especially as African American females, we don't give you guys your due a lot of times, just due to the fact that we grew up in a, I'm talking about black men, just
Yeah.
due to the fact that we grew up in a kind of a men driven sport. We tend to ignore you guys sometimes. I went out today, played with some friends, played with two ladies, and it was a beautiful thing to do. So I appreciate you for moving the needle. I wanted to ask you a question, and I also wanted to ask Super Pro a question. The question for you, two-part question. The question for you, being a teaching professional, and it kind of stems from what Manny was talking about with his golf swing. How would you broach uh, someone who's about to matriculate into the game of golf? How would you broach them about how they should practice?
So, based on the student, I take what they're doing wrong. I show them and help them understand clarification on why these things are happening within their golf swing. And then I tell them that you need to mentally be aware first of what it is that is happening, and then how that feels when that basically meshing the two of feeling versus gratification. So a lot of times when you are giving a lesson, students are looking for the gratification. We all want to see outcome,
Right.
but we don't pay attention to the details on how that outcome is consistently happening. So then when you leave the instructor and you go practice, the first thing you do, you rake and grab a golf ball, you hit it. It could be good, it could be bad, and the next thing you know, you break and grab another golf ball. You really didn't learn anything from that, and neither did your body. If you're not doing the drills and practicing how you want to play, then they don't correlate. So you go out, you hit a bunch of golf balls. Typically, you say, "Oh, well, I spent an hour hitting golf balls. I practice." You didn't practice with a purpose. You wasted your time. Um, and then when you go to the golf course, all of a sudden you have all this pressure applied to you. And I want to score really well. I want to do well in front of my boss. I want to do well at this tournament. And then it doesn't happen for you because you're still doing old habits because you didn't pay attention to your form. So I get a lot of my students to understand be in there.
He's back. Let me mute him though, because he's almost back. He's just not. He ain't 100% back, but he almost back. He's getting close.
And so I get them to pay attention to their form and understand that through their form they will receive the consistency that they're looking for, and this is how they need to practice. If not, then you're going to keep doing the same things over and over, repeatedly, but not in a good habit.
Wow.
Right,
And
all right.
and that's and you know that's good feedback because I hear people all the time, especially low handicappers. They can go out to the golf course, go to the driving range, and hit 10 balls and get instant feedback based on 10 bowls, not a bucket, and they'll just leave. I've done that before myself, so I appreciate that part in terms of teaching some of our not even young people, but people who are tenured in the game how to go about a practice. Super pro. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tiana.
Oh, I had one more thing to add. So my motto is quality over quantity. So, it doesn't matter. Just like you said, you don't have to hit the whole bucket of golf balls. You can spend 5 minutes and get more out of that 5 minutes of your practice than spending an hour, or a person who spent an hour on the driving range.
Appreciate that, young lady. I got a question for Super Pro, and I'll turn it back over to Manny. Super Pro, what's good with you,
What's
bro?
happening? Finally got this technology to work.
Let's give him some air horns, man. He's in the house.
When you work with them crickets, that's what usually happens. But I'm just messing with you, Super Pro. Super Pro, man. First of all, having that background in growing grass, are there any empty fields down there we could buy to get that hemp going down there in Georgia? Uh,
So,
Hey,
uh,
we could have that offline conversation, anytime, my guy.
Jesus
nah,
Christ.
I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, but Super Pro, seriously, man. You're accomplished, man. Being the first. And so my question is, you just said you're the first, but you don't want to be the last. But also, you have to tip your hat to you for being the first. How difficult was it being the first?
It was definitely a long, hard road. Again, taking the road less traveled, you have a lot of people that try to change your mind and defer you and ultimately want to send you down the road that they've been or the traditional path. And, sometimes that's just not the way. You know what I mean? My background, I have a chemistry degree. I did
Mm.
chemistry, chemical engineering, and I have a turf management certificate from certification from University of Georgia. With that being said, golf my career evolved essentially out of a beautiful tragedy. You know what I'm saying? A lovely story, like like Romeo and Juliet. My mother introduced me to the game. I'm the only one that plays in my immediate family so far. Shouts out to my brother. He just told me he was about to pick up the game just because the
That's
nephew
right.
picked up the game, but that's that influence we talk about. But nonetheless, I got into golf randomly. You know what I mean? It was like one summer as a young kid, didn't have anything to do. And my dudes was like, "You're not finna sit on this couch and do nothing." You know what I mean? And the local
That's right.
recreation department offered a golf clinic. And, she sent me and she was, I was like, "Mom, are you serious? Play golf? Like, but nonetheless, when I went there, I instantly fell in love with the game. You know what I mean? Instantly fell in love with the game. Fast forward, I played in, high school. Um, Wound up getting a golf scholarship to play at Southern University in A&M. Go Jags! You know what I
That's
mean? And then while doing so, my mother was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and
right.
ultimately I moved back to Georgia. Went to Georgia Southern University and finished my degree there. But my mother ultimately passed from cancer
Mm,
my senior year during my spring break. You know what I'm saying? I
mm.
had my spring break to, you
You
know,
know,
bury my mom, handle family business, but then at the same time, you know what I'm saying, still handle business. And my mom was a big proponent of education and a voracious reader and all the above in that regard. So it was just something that needed to be done. And then out of that tragedy, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something that I love to do. You know what I'm saying? Having that conversation with my older brother, he was like, man, go for it.
Mm.
That's what life's about. Life's too short. He was like, you don't want to spend out 10, 12 hours in the lab. Trust me, been there, done that. You know what I
mm,
mean? Working for some chemical company or something like that. And so out of, that tragedy, I dove into, the golf industry because that's where I only found that solace. You know what I mean? Those 4 hours by yourself, you get to learn a lot about yourself and life in general. So
Mhm.
that helped me grow. And out of that, the game of golf, you know what I'm saying? My journey right there began from that. I went out to Florida with one of my high school friends that just finished the Golf Academy of the South. You know what I mean? And just started the journey like that. And ultimately, registered for the school. And the guy, the main director called me in his office, like, dude, you don't need to be here. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, I'm not about to take your money. I was like, again, what do you mean? I'm trying to be a golf professional. He was like, there's another way. He was like, you definitely don't need to be here. And with the resume and the credentials that you've already, done thus far, you just need somebody to give you an opportunity. And he actually pointed me in the right direction to do that. And
Nice.
that, again, was the start of my career. And at the first facility I was at, they had the opportunity to be a spray technician. They needed one, and they were like, hey, we see you got this chemistry degree, you with it? And I was like, why not? I might as well do something with it. My mom gonna slap me from heaven for going to get this chemistry degree and not doing nothing with it, right?
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? And so that was my first introduction on to the green grass side of it. Spraying the chemicals, mixing the chemicals. Obviously, that was in my wheelhouse. That was, what I was ultimately trained to do. And then I bridged the gap with that, with my first love, with my passion with golf. And so, that was the start of being a super pro in that regard. So,
Wow.
man,
So dope. Let's get that up.
That's what's
yeah.
up.
Our people are wonderful, hardworking people. We don't always get portrayed that way, but the more we have pros like you on the show, we had Wayne a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, my guy.
2 degrees. Yeah, come on, 2 degrees.
Yeah.
You with many degrees, TIANA, many degrees. They just look at, sometimes they see you guys as posts. And that's why we love to have you on, so you can school these people. Like, look, I'm in here with the right
100%.
paperwork and the right experience and the right know-how to get us moving in the right direction. Miss Clark's Golf Life, do you have a question?
Yeah, so TIANA, so I read your bio and it's everything. I mean, 3 years old, I got a new grandbaby, so I plan to start him at like 6 months. I don't know if that's too early, but
No.
I say straight out the uterus. But anyways,
I'll get that baby COVID.
don't do that. But I just definitely wanted to ask, like, was it hard? Like, what made you decide to do both the PGA and the LPGA? Which one did you do first, and why?
So I did the PGA first. So just a little backstory on that. Growing up, I never knew about a PGA professional. I played solely for competition. I enjoyed winning. Going to golf courses, a lot of times I would run into like the groups that was out there, and they would give me buckets of golf balls and stuff like that. I would have to pay adult fees in order to play most of the golf courses in my area. There was no junior programming.
Oh, wow.
Every time I stepped on the golf course, I saw a Caucasian male behind the counter. I didn't meet a female PGA professional until after I became a PGA professional.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know anything about being a PGA professional. All I knew, there was a problem. The problem was I didn't see enough people that looked like me when I step out on the golf course, aside from my mother, who was my role model. She held our club championship for 21 years consecutively over a bunch of Caucasian women. We were the only Black people that were members at this country club. The only reason why we had to get a membership at a country club was because the junior tournaments I played in, they did not like the fact that I would win all the time. So they put a clause in their application that if you didn't have a club affiliation, you weren't allowed to play in their tournament.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Some of that is that exclusion. Some of that.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
Let's get some of that exclusion. It's still around.
So what led me down this path was all the challenges I faced, and wanting to see the changes, wanting to be able to contribute and have that impact of growing the game for minorities as well as for women. And so once I got my PGA degree, I then found out about the LPGA, and that broadened my horizon to impact a different segment of the market. Also being able to market myself to the women, not only of color, but also women in general. So,
yeah. Wow.
Important. Let me get that up too, because that's crazy dope. And I think it's too, because I think it's the part of the country too. Some of us are in too, depending on how much access, how much of that sprinkle of exclusion gets sprinkled on us. And you was Midwest, Ohio.
Yes.
So yeah, that
Have they since changed that
a
clause?
little tough.
So they do it in different ways. I teach a lot of the high school African American girls now. And the sad thing is, they brought up to me the fact that when they go to tournaments, they still the only African American girls out there.
Yeah.
But the other ways they do it is price point. If I can outprice you,
Right.
you know, I don't have to worry about you
Yeah.
for the tournament. Or if I don't share with you about the information of these tournaments, then I don't have to worry about you finding out about them. And then I don't have to worry about you coming to beat up on my kids.
Wow.
That's tough.
Man.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Hey,
Still in 2021.
hey, but you know, Tiana, I can tell, I feel your spirit over here. And I can tell that, I mean, seriously, when you have someone who is firm, because I can tell that you're firm, you're no nonsense, and you have a pedigree that you come from that have high expectations. And so the thing is, for a young lady like yourself, I know that you use some of that on the front end as motivation when you got into those tournaments, being the only black female there, and know that you had the game to be there and you deserved to be there. And your family had provided an opportunity for you to be there. So at any cost, you were gonna try to put your foot on somebody's throat.
Yes.
Yeah. And so and so I can tell that, man. And you know, it's just like this past weekend. I was at a golf outing up, you know, in the country somewhere. And so, you know, they had this big spread after we finished playing, buffet, this, that, and the third. And all the brothers and sisters was in the kitchen. And so, I'm Charlie Sifford's nephew. So I'm gonna speak, you know, I'm gonna speak what I gotta speak. And so the lady at the cash register, I asked one of the sisters a question, and she interjected and says, "Well, I handle that down here," because she was running the cash register. And I said, "You know what?" I just looked at her and I said, "You know what? As long as those sisters back there cooking all that good food, you're not gonna put them on the cash register." I said, "That's the ones who are bringing these people in here to eat." And she just looked at me, and that pissed me off because it was almost like, you know where your place is. It's in the kitchen. And so I told one of the older sisters. It was an older lady, Miss Betty. That's her name. I found out her name because I wanted to talk to her, thank her for the meal and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what we should be doing anyway when we go places and you feel outnumbered. And I said, Miss Betty, I said, the thing is, I said, I can tell you come from a strong background, strong family. I mean, you cook old school. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I blessed her with a couple of dollars on the side. But I just wanted her to know that when we come into an establishment and we see the people who are really bringing the people in, we need to acknowledge them. That's like if I go down to Georgia with Super Pro, I'm going to make sure that I meet Super Pro and tell him how I appreciate what he's doing and how great he is. We don't do that. And it really gets under my skin, man. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, it gets just by her testimony, by being the only sister out there, and a group of white folk, and they're trying to outprice you so that you can't participate. You got to be from a club to participate. See, that makes my blood boil, man.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, well, it's about community, and everything he says, Sif, is right on. And just like from the cleaning people to the cooking people to the managers, they are community, and I always, it's no higher or lower person. Anybody that's doing honest work
right
is on the same level. Honest work is honest work.
Right.
You get up every day and you go do honest work. We should all look at anybody that's doing honest work and give them the same love as the president or the cleaning lady. We used to have big arguments. I'm in Cali, and during the COVID, it was people thinking they were better than the supermarket people. And we'd be like, see, there you go, talking about these supermarket people that wanted $12.95 an hour. Bet you like them now that they stocking them shelves and you ain't hoarding toilet paper and all this Lysol and this meat. You looking at the supermarket people, you at home. You can't move. In Cali, we was on lockdown, so you couldn't move. So guess what? Guess who had to move in the COVID? The supermarket people, stocking them shelves, making sure you was eating, making sure your kids have food and snacks and stuff. So everybody's turn comes around, and we shouldn't wait for their turn. We should just be gracious and humble.
But that's true, Manny, and you're absolutely right. You know, however, when I see a person that looks like me, I'm gonna go. It's like, and I'm gonna say this, and I'll shut up. My grandmother told I was a little kid.
He's not gonna do it though.
I promise you, I will. we went to the beach one summer. I was a little kid. My grandmother and her sister went with us as well. So we were in the hotel room. All right. So we were about to go out to eat or whatever we were gonna do. So the thing was, we got out the bed. I just left the bed like it was. My aunt said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, the maids will get it." She said, "No." She said, "You make up that bed, even if they have to come back and remake the bed and put different. You don't make it difficult for a person who's trying to make it."
That's
and
true.
I never forgot that, man. So when I go to golf courses, like, you know, if I go to patronize TIANA and Super Pro, just because you know, she's behind the counter, what have, I'm not gonna leave any trash on the table I'm not gonna throw any trash on your golf course. You know, because I know that it's going to take effort for you guys, and people are looking more so at you because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, no, that's true. We get that up. That's true. Again, we're lucky to have you guys here. You guys have such a wealth of knowledge and experience that, you know, we're going to share some more. So where are you guys working now? Let's get into that.
Yes. Because I love Topgolf. When I tell you I love me some Topgolf, so I want to hear about some Topgolf, TIANA.
That's where she works?
Yeah, she's a director out there. So I definitely want to hear about that and how you love it and just, you know, how's that experience?
So, yes, I work at Topgolf in Cleveland. I am the first African-American female to be a director of instruction for Topgolf. There's two of us.
Let's get that up. I wish I could go to Cleveland just to do Topgolf, but I don't think I'm going to Cleveland anytime. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Me neither.
Come on, transfer to Vegas. Transfer to Vegas.
I wish I could, but that position is not available.
No, that's right. They building a new one in Newport Beach. Come on to Cali. It's 75 all year round. Okay.
Y'all cost a living.
I'm gonna tell you. I just $5.10 a gallon. Don't come here. It's all bad.
God almighty, $5 for some gas.
$5.10. That was with the Vons discount. Took 20 cents off. It was, I don't know what it would be without the little Vons.
Everybody drive mopeds out there.
But I got like a 20-gallon tank. It's ugly. Okay, sorry, TIANA.
I was there for the Holy Moly show, and y'all prices.
Oh yeah, they filmed that. They actually filmed that in my city where I live at in Santa Clarita. Okay, continue.
Mm-hmm. So I plan all their player development curriculums and programs there at Topgolf. I run their tournaments, events, and things like that. Any golf questions is directed my direction. I have full autonomy to create any programs I want, and so that gives me the autonomy to open up to a lot of different markets. We see all kinds of people, all ages, all demographics, golfers, non-golfers, lapsed golfers. I mean, you name it, everybody's coming through the doors, whether it's for an event, birthday party, retirement party, corporate holiday parties, any of that. And so that allows me to make connections there and get some of the people who have stopped playing golf either back into it, or the people who are interested in playing golf that have never set foot on a golf course, to be able to have that correct introduction to the fundamentals of the game. And then I also teach them how to transition utilizing the entertainment of the driving range to the actual golf course. So they not only can have fun at Topgolf, but they learn how to have fun on an actual golf course. I mean, it's, it's the resources of having junior golf clubs, clubs available for men and women, also make it a lot easier to transition people into the game and get people started. So, I mean, that's what I love about it. And giving me that opportunity to be able to connect with the people who don't typically go to golf courses. So
let's give it out to Topgolf, because basically that is really expanding the game of golf. A lot of people talk about we want to expand the game and reach more people. I think Topgolf has probably reached more people than a gang of, not all, most programs, just bringing regular folk in to have some fun. You got drink, you got music, it's lights, it's camera, and it takes probably a little bit of that stuffiness off and the stigma of golf.
It makes it fun. I know here, so TIANA, so I'm in Tampa, Riverview area. So the Topgolf here, they have it where you can go from like Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 for like $15 unlimited or something, or maybe $20. Do y'all offer that there also?
So we have half off or half price Tuesdays. And so from morning to noon-ish, you get half off your golf. And then they also run a promotion, like you said, Monday through Friday. Through certain time periods, they discount the price a little bit, so you have a little bit more time to play golf on the hour. A lot of times the way oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So a lot of times when they look at the price point, it's like bowling. Instead of paying per game, you paying per hour. And then if you can have up to 8 people inside of a bay, 6 people can play at a time. And then if you divide that hourly rate among the 6 people, you only paying like $8 per person per game or per hour.
Oh wow,
I love it. That's my driving range Monday through Friday.
Is it? That's dope, man. Because you would be surprised. We don't have Topgolf in LA. They're just building it. The land is too expensive, and they had to do all kinds of stuff just to get a Topgolf. We're getting one in El Segundo, and I think one in Orange County, but it's not here yet. We have to go to Vegas to do Topgolf in Vegas in the MGM. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But it's coming. It's coming, and it's gonna be crazy busy and expensive and all that. It's gonna be, LA's a huge market anyway for entertainment. But yeah, we don't have it, but they're coming. They're coming. When we go to Vegas, we have a ball. It's beautiful. It is just beautiful. I think we lost. She on that cricket phone. Miss Clark, Miss Clark's golf life. It's on that cricket phone. Super Pro. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing now?
Oh man, got a couple things. You know what I'm saying? We keep a couple irons in the fire. First and foremost, Super Pro Golf Services, man. That is a boutique management golf company that I started back in 2017. Taking the advice of some of the OGs, right? Nobody can pay you like yourself, right? Give you your just due, especially having to go through some of the obstacles, as you can imagine, as a minority in the golf industry, and just ultimately utilizing that skill set. You know what I mean? Just having the ability to capitalize on having some of the certifications and licensings to do some specialized work as a professional within the industry. You know what I mean? So just trying to expand upon that every day. So again, we offer services as far as golf course management. That's kind of what we want to do. You know what I mean? Starting that record. So we do contracts for golf course management, consulting, and also especially from the agronomy end as well. You know what I mean? So as you can imagine, somebody's got to spray. There's licenses and other things that you need to do that. And sometimes, those are hard to acquire. They're hard to come by. Those tests are very difficult,
Okay.
especially when you're talking about EPA regulations, OSHA
Mm,
regulations, and being in compliance with things like that. So again, that kind of gives us another specialized niche to do that and offer those services in that regard. My day job, I am the facility manager, director of golf for Pine Oaks Golf Course in Warner Robins, Georgia, on Robins Air Force Base. Shout out to all the service men and
exactly.
women out there for what y'all do. You know, um, and I recently got that job not too long ago, just shy of a year, and it was a good transition. It was a great transition because my background has been high end private, and one thing from an exclusivity standpoint, if you will, is that regardless of how great of a teacher I was, how great of a service I provided, it was only a handful of African Americans there, and when it came to junior programming, it was very difficult to include some of the community children as you could imagine because their
Mm,
way was like, we only cater to the, you know, children of our patrons and our members and their grandkids. So it was very
yeah, that
difficult to
money.
reach that community
Mm,
and, expand and do give back. And that's very big to me because I know what the game of golf has done personally for my life as an African American male from a small town in the middle of Georgia and the
mm,
opportunities it has afforded me. So again, any opportunity to give back and share that knowledge is always a passion of mine, and we always look for ways to do that. And Miss T, I got the Super Pro JR out there, great kid, just trying to foster those relationships with the academy,
nice.
Team Super Pro. You see that hashtag, that's growing the game from all aspects, from a junior programming aspect, taking these kids up. We're looking to expand into agency golf course management from that aspect. As you know, the NCAA just allowed kids to get paid for their images and their likenesses and
Exactly.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Well, us as a people, we're always great and marketable, but somebody needs to manage that. Somebody needs to make sure that these kids are protected and they're not taken advantage of in
Definitely.
that regard. And so, myself, TIANA, people that play college golf and know what it takes to, go through the clearinghouse process and all those things and having the networks of college coaches and the associations that we're affiliated with and the governance, just capitalizing on all those aspects so that we can be well rounded and just be given a fair chance and a fair opportunity to be the most qualified candidate in the room versus defined by my ethnicity and or my skin color. So,
Right.
that's just ultimately the passion and again, just being on a service property, my day job, back to the day job, having our men and women, giving them a quality product that has served our armed forces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up.
We can only imagine what they go through, you know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
to have a place of solace that is quality, you know what I
Right.
mean, that has,
Mhm.
the private country club conditions, but yet and still have the same comforts of what you've known your whole life when you were defending our freedoms, you know what I mean? So
Very nice.
again, to have the ability to offer a fantastic product to the servicemen and women out there and the community and kind of bridge that gap. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really
No,
good.
no, no. That's a hell of a mixture. And so far I don't know about, and I got to give you some hands up for that and some air horns because that's just amazing. We've been lucky. I know in Cali, our armed force courses are good. Our armed force courses are good. I don't know about the instruction, but I know they keep them up. I don't know about the instruction there for the service members, but the courses they do a pretty good job. They're on par with maybe not some of the country clubs, but they're good. You're not on a cow patch. You got
Right.
fairways, you got greens, you got some pretty good stuff. So I know that's a passion of yours, being able to give all that great knowledge to the servicemen
Yeah.
and women, and that's just beautiful. One quick question for the both of you guys. You know, I always hear, and a few people have said this, the road to the PGA or the LPGA is still through the country club. Is that true? Or do you think that's true? The road through the PGA or LPGA, especially with youngsters, is still through the country club to get you that opportunity that most people have. Because remember, it was Palmer was like a journeyman, didn't come from a grip of money, but Nicholas came from the country club, and it's always been that kind of battle. Are you a Nicholas? Are you a Palmer? And of course, Tiger didn't come through a country club, but Jordan Spieth came through a country club, so it's still, or do you think it doesn't matter anymore? You can get to the tour or get to your scholarships without that.
In my opinion, there's multiple ways you can get there. It's all about work ethic and exposure and networking. So, and who you know, most likely is what gets you there. Country clubs, the reason why that was probably thought to be the easier route, just because that's where most of your money comes from. And to be on tour, it's a big financial obligation for an individual pursuing the tour to be able to uphold the expenses of travel, tournament fees, and equipment and things like that. So, I mean, it's really about the resources that you have. You don't necessarily have to be at a country club in order to get those resources anymore, but it does give you a better opportunity.
Give you a little time. Money is time, so they'll give you a little more time. I understand that. Trish.
So, Super Pro, one of the folks in our chat asked, wanted to know, what year did you finish college?
I graduated in 2007.
Right.
I have to think about
it.
Okay.
Yeah, we getting up there. We all getting up there. Unfortunately, we all getting up there. That is dope. That is dope. Oh, I'm sorry, Trish.
No, and then Super Pro, like with you working on the base, so, and I know they have kids that come in and out. Obviously, they travel with their parents. They live on base, and then the bases that typically have golf courses, which the majority of them do. Do they have some type of like first tee program that goes from like course to course? So when this kid goes from like, Georgia to, California or wherever, where they can continue learning the game of golf at these courses? Do they have something like that?
So what we generally have is, obviously, we kind of have a big council, a main council that's located in, I think they're in Texas. I think they're actually in Dallas. But nonetheless, we have some initiatives and pillars, just as you would imagine, as an overall network that we kind of set standards, like PGA Junior League. You got to offer so many junior programs, etc. So we have mandates in some regards, in that way, that we have to offer a certain amount of programs and programming to our constituents in that regard. So therefore, if you do go to another base or another, state, country, whatever it is, you will still find kind of the same similar blueprint when it comes through the calendar of events through the season. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Dope.
That's awesome.
That's dope. Yeah, that's great, because you do have Navy rats, Army rats that's growing up on bases, and they can get. I think some of I don't want to start naming names, but I thought a few of them came up through the armed services as kids because their fathers was military personnel. Okay, I want to ask a question. I think we're going to start asking everybody that comes on as a professional. When you were going into college, what was you guys' handicap? What was you shooting? What was you shooting to get the scholarship? What was you shooting to get in school?
So
my bad. T, ladies first. Look, I had to get that, but I had to think so far back.
I graduated high school with a scoring average of a 70.
Oh,
so
I love it.
I hold the record at South Carolina State University for the lowest round of golf as a 68.
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
That's how you get low. Get low.
Get low,
And I also hold the record at UMS as well.
Oh, wow.
So my handicap was around like a +2.
Mm.
Nice. Nice.
Trying to
Nice.
be like you when I grow up. Jeez.
Look, me too. For real. Look,
What was your handicap when you
look, my handicap was a little more realistic, you know. My coach was like, look, a little more common, you know, a little more down to earth. You know, the standard when I was coming through playing college golf was you had to average about 150. So you had to be able to shoot 75 or better for a collective of, you know, 2 days. That was generally the mark. If you shot like 150 or better, you were, you know, considered a viable candidate to play. But obviously, you are always looking to get progressively better. So my handicap was around there. So you know what I mean? I was playing pretty good. So back then, but nonetheless, yeah, stayed around that number. I never got low like TIANA, you know, even par, something like that. You know, that's probably like my best in collegiate tournaments. I couldn't go low until after I got a little bit more ability to play as a professional, you know what I mean? But nonetheless.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna start asking that because you know, it's always talk in the rooms and what do you need or how to, and I don't think it's enough information through professionals who's actually done it given. We got people saying that's what it should be and it better be this, and I want to start asking the people who actually had the handicaps and went on and went to college. They would know better than anyone else.
Correct.
And then that can put, you know what I mean? That could put to bed some of these arguments in these rooms. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I didn't think of that or we didn't think of that earlier. But anybody that comes on here, we want to know numbers. Shoot the score. What was your score to get you to the next level? Let's see. We have Tina, where do you see yourself in the golf industry in 10 years? That comes from Earl Hart Richards. Where do you see yourself in the golf industry in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself being an entrepreneur, owning my own golf academy, being able to spread my teaching philosophy to underserved communities, and being able to get more minorities and women into the sport.
Nice.
He
said that's the question for both. Super Pro. In 10 years, brother, where you at?
In 10 years, man, hopefully owning and or managing multiple golf courses in my portfolio. Hopefully, look, we got a collaboration with TIANA as an entrepreneur and her golf academy. It's about facilities. You feel me? So get with me offline so we can talk about these contracts so I can get you early.
That's right.
I know that's right.
That's how it's done.
But again, that's kind of my passion and what I want to do seriously. We need to be more owners and operators. We need to be more Renee Powell's, the Powells, and you know, owning our own facilities and creating more opportunities for our own communities. I know one project that I am definitely working on, the city of South Fulton, place where I worked and is very near and dear to my heart. Their city ultimately doesn't have even a golf course, a public venue for their residents. And, you know, as we know in COVID times, that was one of the only few refuges that you could have was the golf course or tennis. And that's kind of how we got that spike and that wave. And, you know, South Fulton in that area is mostly predominantly a minority area. You know, that's Chocolate City, if you will. And so, yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? So, nonetheless, just trying to work with some of the leadership down there to see the importance of that. And then potentially, you know, we can come to an agreement to where we can find some space and or a golf course to manage and offer that service to the community. And T, if that does go down, we need you in Atlanta.
That's right. I love it. I hope our city officials of color that can push some of the levers understand that it's important.
Very.
Please, please understand that it's vital and important, because let me tell you, others think it is, and they ain't wasting no time. Let me tell you. I'm gonna say that one more time. Others think it's important, and they are not wasting any time. I think after COVID, and I know I see this in Cali right now, we are packed. The driving ranges are packed. The tee times are packed. And in the LA County, Orange County area, I mean, we have like, we lost our guy. We have like a lot of courses. We have a lot of courses. And I mean, let me tell you this. I'm gonna bring Super Pro back. Let me tell you this. They boosted up large buckets to $20. $20 for a large bucket.
Ooh.
That's what LA is doing. And guess what? There's no room at the stall. It's two back. So you got a cat paying 20 or really 40 because he's putting two buckets there because he know. So he's paying 40 for the buckets. Then it's a guy behind him with a $20 bucket, and then it's another guy behind him with a $20 bucket waiting to get on. And we have, I don't know, 200-300 courses. I mean, LA County put a lot of money into public courses. We were lucky that way. I mean, we have really good public courses. LA Open's been played here. The US Open was played at a public course. And every last one of them is packed. The driving range are packed. 2 weeks out, you late. You ain't getting the tee time. You're not. All those courses. And I'm sure that's around the country too. I'm pretty sure that's around the country also, because golf right now, I don't know what it is. Is it the promised land? What did they? I think that COVID just really just opened it up for everybody.
Well, it was safe. It was safe for folks.
It was safe.
It was safe.
That's what we did.
I
was in Vegas during COVID playing golf because it was the only place to play golf. What do you guys see around the country? Do you guys see an uptick in golf this last year, a year and a half?
Oh yeah.
Yes, definitely. Lesson wise, I doubled revenue from last year to this year. Also, just the people that's been coming to our facility. When COVID first hit, a lot of companies in the golf industry didn't really know how that was going to affect them until the surge happened. And so even Topgolf was at one point worried, kind of like is our customer base going to go down and decline because people don't want to come out of their houses. So a lot of companies was trying to figure out how to navigate if there was a negative response to the COVID situation. But in the golf industry, it was positive. So that's where people pass the park. I mean, people seemed like they didn't even care about COVID. They just wanted to get out the house. Because there was a lot of places closed down. The only place that you could go to that was still open was a golf course.
It's true. Right.
And then on top of that, they closed down the bars, and golf has alcohol typically involved too. So there was one place that they could get away, have fun, still be around their friends, family, and be outdoors and feel a little bit more safer. So it definitely took off.
But they stayed. You think they would peel off because stuff is open now, but they all stayed, which is great. Which is great for the game, because remember, it was a lot of rumors maybe 5 years ago, golf courses is closing. We do it, now it's like, oh man, we shouldn't have closed those courses. I mean, always houses gonna make the money, but I think COVID really, really did a good job on bringing people to the game. I see young people. You know what I see too? I see a lot of couples now, where I never seen, and they're young couples, like 24 to 34. The young couples are out there, at least in Cali, playing together. Girls is playing together. I see a huge amount of women now that I didn't see before COVID, and they out there.
Relationship goals.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, a lot of what seen
Shit. But
a lot of what I have seen and just from my clientele is either women are getting into it so they can play with their partner, or basically corporate. A lot of my students come to me and say, "Hey, I need to learn how to play," because a lot of corporate companies are now taking their employees to the golf course, so they don't want to be embarrassed when they get out there and don't know how to play. The companies like Callaway and Titleist are on back order for golf clubs, especially for beginner sets, just because of the surge. So I mean, it had a very positive impact to our industry. We went from being a $72 billion industry to an $82 billion
there you go.
industry.
Just like that.
10 B's.
Is it
10
eight?
B's.
Seven?
That ain't nothing to sneeze at. 10 B's. that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yes, sir.
You can do a lot with them 10 B's for sure. I think, and you know, the PGA, hopefully the LPGA will get some of that money because they always haven't had the fairer purses. But I know the PGA, they turn down money. People want to give them so much money, they turn down money that they can't do for tournaments and stuff. Hopefully the LPGA their purses will rise as it should be. Hopefully. I think they're trying to do a good job, and you know, still got some mountains to climb. They definitely deserve it for sure.
It's all about the audience. So more people watch PGA golf than they do LPGA golf.
Yeah.
Also, sponsors wise and participation. So when people are coming out to see these golfers, that kind of dictates what the purse is going to be. So
yeah, it's true. I mean, same with like the WNBA. You know, it's the same. But it's the same. And if you don't have dominant USA players, you don't have a marquee star. That people don't want to really hear that, but if you don't have a Tiger or a LeBron on the LPGA, that's from the US, which is, I mean, it's not fair, but that's just how it is because it's US companies that's going to pay and sponsor. It's like even like when a Michelle Wee was popular, she was bringing money into the LPGA, and you know we don't have a solidified USA superstar on the LPGA at this moment. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. That'll bring up purses too. That's entertainment, unfortunately. It is what it is. Gotta sell soap. Gotta sell the soap in the commercial. That's how you get the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Trish and Sif, parting words, and parting questions.
So today I went to the range before the show and I met this gentleman by the name of Michael Reeves, great guy, loves golf. And so we were talking about, you know, some individuals playing in some of the tours. And he was like, well, what happens when you don't make the tour? And so as we spoke today, you know, we have director, we have, you know, super pro out here doing this thing. So, you know, with that, you know, I'm gonna go to each one of you. What would be some advice that you would give that individual that, okay, maybe the
You're kind of breaking up.
tour didn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, what would you give to an individual that?
Give one more time, Trish, because you was breaking up a little bit.
You sound like radio.
Oh man, this cricket internet. Boy, I tell you.
And if y'all don't get off that tin can internet.
No, so my question was, I met a gentleman today, and we were talking about those that are on the tour that or want to be on the tour, but they say they didn't make it to the tour. So what are the other options? You know, because obviously there's other opportunities out there. Director, we got Super Pro doing his thing. So what advice would you give to that individual that, okay, maybe we didn't make the tour, but there's other opportunities? What advice would you give them?
Yeah.
I ain't answering that.
Okay, so I'll answer then.
I ain't answering that.
So, you know, one, they got to make a decision, and rather that's something that they really want to keep pursuing.
Okay.
So perseverance is everything. But other options, for the PGA, I mean, you can do the apprentice route by getting a job at a golf course, or you can do the university route. So you can go to a school that has a PGM program, so you can get your license in order for you to be able to conduct business in the golf industry. Um, I mean, there's so many options out there. They can have their own golf academies if they're good at instruction and they understand the game in that way. Um, I mean, it's endless. I mean, if they have another degree, I mean, you can get involved in some of these golf companies, engineering golf balls, clubs, all that good stuff. I mean, there's so many options out there in the golf industry. It's not funny.
Very.
Just to piggyback off Tiana, I think it's that's the good thing about the golf industry, like she mentioned, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. The sky's the limit. Whether you're doing marketing, sales, plumbing, cleaning, whatever the case may be, there's a niche for you in the golf industry. So if you do have a passion and want to be in the golf industry and may not necessarily have that playing ability, like you said, you can still do whatever. You know what I'm saying? The PGA has lawyers. They need lawyers for legals, the governance, all the above. Literally, there is nothing that you can think of under the sun that you cannot do in the golf industry. Seriously.
Definitely.
So the
A
sky's the
billion-dollar
limit. Just
business.
do it.
Yeah. A billion-dollar industry means it's a billion positions available.
Yeah, exactly.
It's its own world. It's its own world.
Exactly.
Nice.
Big
So,
Sif, parting words.
Hey, Tiana, I really appreciate the time. It does my heart good to see a young African American female making her way in this game of golf. Hats off to you. Hopefully, you'll see me in Cleveland. My cousin Charles Jr. Lives in Cleveland. And,
We are good friends. I actually
okay.
met him about a week ago. So,
Well, you make sure you give him hell or get him to talk. Sometimes he's laid back, but continue to do your thing. Once again, I appreciate what you're doing. You have no idea the impact that you're going to make down the road. I can see it.
thank you.
Super Pro, mad respect, man. I'm gonna tell you said something earlier about entrepreneurship and being in many roles and wearing many hats. And so the one thing that I took away from that was when you talked about management. You see what Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU for $100 million. And so, they can capitalize. And Brian Kelly's just the coach. He ain't making a tackle. He ain't throwing a pass. But he can capitalize on $100 million salary. So make sure you stay with that management piece, because there are going to be some young brothers that you're going to run into that just don't know. And hopefully you can hear me, but just don't know. And if you find those young brothers who are making that next step into that college arena and have game, just make sure that you pull them to the side and say, look, man, let me help you. Because a lot of times what we do, man, we just say we take for granted because somebody such and such said, and we go with it. One of my partners, Clinton Porter's, he in a bad situation because somebody recommended somebody to him because such and such said it. And so, somebody that's intentional and true like yourself, get into that space, man, because there's opportunity.
Absolutely.
There. Opportunity.
Again, and I'm just going to piggyback off everybody. Again, we're just very happy that you came. I just always say, talk to the professionals. You want to know something? Reach out. They online. They in the alliance. They in the association. Don't bug them. But if you need some information, let's talk to the professionals. They're going to give us something that's real. They're going to give us something that's going to stick to our ribs that we can take with us and keep for a long time. Anybody that comes on the Golf Locker Room is family. You guys are always welcome to come on anytime. You got a book you want to sell, you got some shirts you want to come on, you just want to run your mouth with us because we can talk. You already know we'll just talk. Just come on and talk. And again, it's just a pleasure that our community is getting thick, but our community is getting real information from real people.
Correct.
And that's really important. No speculators. No, I think it should be this way. We're talking to people who, like she said, Miss T was like since 3 years old. Come on, we need to listen. Super pro. I needed both. I need to be the Class A instructor, and I'm going to be that Class A greens and spraying and managing them course. So definitely, we got it all just right here with YouTube professionals. And with that, we're going to give y'all parting words. What you guys want to say to the audience, or anything you want to say?
For me, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because that's what we're here for. The road wasn't easy for us to get where we are, but we are a wealth of knowledge, and we want to inspire others to do what we are doing so we can continue to grow in numbers. We may be the first in doing a lot of things, but we don't want to be the last. I got that, Most importantly, whatever it is that you want to do, there will be challenges, but we work around those challenges, and so can you. So don't let anybody stop you from doing what you want to do.
Thank you. Let's get that up. Super pro parting words.
First and foremost, again, shout out to y'all for what y'all do, the opportunity to share our stories, our experiences, because like you said, communication is definitely key. First and foremost, having the information, you know what I mean? And so having the opportunity to put some of that information, put some enlightenment out there, and also foster some growth and development and some different ideologies and thinking from the non-traditional paths. Y'all have a great engine here. Much success to y'all, and big shout outs in that regard. First and foremost, homage to y'all. To the golf world, be authentic, be genuinely you. You know what I mean? Because again, that also is a part of being or encompassing diversity and inclusion. The nonconformity or being authentic, which is not traditionally acceptable in some arenas or the traditional ways of the golf industry. Do not compromise yourself. Always believe in yourself, and also know that there is a network of individuals out there and a plethora of knowledge to help you in any path that you want to go. Like you said it best. Just reach out. We here. You know what I mean? And we all down to earth, as you can see. You know what I mean? You probably get next to us in restaurants or wherever, probably
That's
play.
right.
You know what I mean? We're people. We're humans too. You know what I mean? And we understand. We understand. We have that empathy because we have been mistreated. We had to overcome hurdles, and trust me, there's nothing that you can probably experience that we haven't already experienced threefolds over
That's right.
in this industry. In that regard. So again, being a resource on any platform and vice versa. I ask y'all if you can be a resource to us in any capacity. You see some of the things that we're trying to do and the things that where we're trying to go. If you can help, please do. You know what I mean? I think that's another thing as a people, we have these great networks, but we never utilize them. Who's to have, potentially P. Diddy's number in your phone and you can't call him or you know what I mean? Or it'd be something
Exactly.
that, you can't help with, you know what I mean? So, definitely utilize your network, have effective networks. You know what I'm saying? Always evaluate the people close to you. You're always gonna have your haters and naysayers, but you also got to have your supporting squad as well. You know what I mean? A support system takes you a long way, and that's gonna help you, especially when being a trailblazer in this industry. You know what I mean? In that regard. So stay blessed, everybody. Again, if we can be a resource in any way, anyhow, and use our expertise, knowledge, and experience and education to motivate. Like I said, grow and develop. We only a phone call, text, tweet, whatever, DM away. For real.
That's right. That's right. Let's get that up. And I was about to, hopefully she come right back. And that is true. She on that cricket phone too. I don't know what's up with Trish today. She I don't know what's up. But I was just about to give her a shout out, and she about to trick her shout out because on our show, she I just be like, talk to Trish. She can book. Let Trish book. But we've done a lot of shows and we got a lot more to do, but we got a good network of good folk.
Yes.
And something's gonna happen because our network is getting thick of professional, down to earth people doing what they do at a high level. And that's when I really say when we on the show and we family because if I hear something or I can remember something, I'm gonna go to the people that was on the show. I done talked to them. We done chit-chatted. We done went back and forth. Oh, okay, she's back off the cricket phone. But like I was saying, Trish is our connector.
Yeah.
So me and Sif, we talk, but I'm gonna tell you the back and forth emails, the I'm gonna get them on and we're gonna do this. That Trish is our producer. And,
Yes.
and I was just going back and Trish, because you fell off a little bit. We're gonna have to worry about that internet soon.
Pay for me. I need y'all to pay for my internet.
But I was telling them, like, once they come on, we're family and we have a plethora, and our squad is getting thick with talented folk, right? Mm-hmm. And all hands gonna wash everybody's hands, and we're gonna look out for everybody that's been on this show. And I was telling I'm gonna give you props, Trish, because you are the connector.
She is, man.
It goes through you. Absolutely. You are the connector. That's right.
But I can see Trish. I can see Trish making the connection with Stan Campbell and Super Pro.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna let them chat offline about that. Brothers that's gotta know. Come on. Trish be thinking like that. We don't even have to mention because Trish would be like, hey fellas, I put his name out there, but she's the connector. We need a great connector. We need people to keep relationships good, tight, and ready, and that's what she does. So we're just gonna give Tricia extra shout out for doing all that, because without her we would have no guest and organization. Because you'll just hit my phone, I'll be like, oh yeah, here's the link 2 minutes before the show. Be like, oh, it's not working. Oh, that's okay. Well, let's it takes an organizer. She's the organizer. Thank God. And on that note, guess what? We's be out.